out by just looking out the window and seeing what's going on.
Well, maybe not. This isn't like the Yankees. Yankees do call games early if it's going to be a rain out. They're good about that. You want to know why? Because it's $30 or $40 to park in that parking lot.
I think it's going to be based on what the satellite says and everything else.
Right, but it's also based on the fact that the networks need programming.
Well, but I don't think, or at least I hope, that they're not going to start the game in the rain. And if they look at what's coming with the weather, put it this way: I don't want the Yankee season ending with a game being played in a constant rain.
I agree with that.
Because that's just not the way to do it. I understand that television is the tail that wags the dog, but let's give the players a chance to perform at their best level and not have to play in conditions like what's going on outside right now.
I totally agree. And they say it's supposed to end by this afternoon, but you never know.
I have confidence in my man Severino. Whenever it is that he does pitch, I'm putting the wild card game behind me, and I know he'll last more than a third of an inning this time.
You hope so. Yeah, that was pretty strange.
It was bizarre. Yeah. But every pitcher who pitched a wild card game, even Zach Greinke, who was, I think, might have been the only one to get out of it. Well, actually, Severino didn't get out of the first inning, but the Twins starter, Edwin Jackson, he didn't get out of the second inning. Who was it for the Rockies? John Gray. I don't think he didn't last more than an inning or two. And Greinke looked good for the first 3 innings, but then got shelled in the 4th inning.
Right.
So no start in a wild card game got through 5 innings. So none of them could have gotten the win. So that's how bad the pitching was in the wild card games. Yeah. Terrible.
Let's quickly talk about the Jets. 3-2, tied for first place. That's not something that anyone thought of.
I didn't think they'd win 3 games. I mean, I literally thought maybe they'll win 3 games this season.
Yeah.
I certainly did not expect a 3-game winning streak.
It's funny because everyone's focusing on the Giants, and the Jets have sort of snuck in there. Not a lot of fancy schmancy anything really.
I mean, they
won 17-14 yesterday against them. Now, mind you, it's the Browns, but they're not listening to what Tim Leonard said to do, which was lose all the games, go for the quarterback.
But when you say, but it's the Browns, well, the Jets were supposed to be the Browns this season.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Okay.
That it's the Jets. They're defying logic. They're certainly defying expectations. I mean, hey, Jet fans. I don't even know if Jet fans feel good about this season because I think they were kind of in the mindset of, okay, we're just going to be bad this year, and let's suck it up for a season. We'll go 2-14 or 3-13. We'll get us a quarterback, a real franchise quarterback, finally. And then we can move on, and then we can start to build something. Well, right now the Jets are 3-2. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to be so bad that you'd have a top 3 pick.
Yep.
And 3-2 is not getting that done.
No. And
0-5 like the Giants, that's getting it done. But that wasn't the Giants' plan this season.
No, that wasn't. They were supposed to go to the playoffs.
At least. So. They were supposed to be a contender for the Super Bowl. Right now, like I said before, the Giants are now very much a player in the Sam Darnold sweepstakes because Odell Beckham is out for the season. That much is certain. I don't know who Eli Manning is throwing the ball to for at least the next couple of weeks. Brandon Marshall sprained an ankle. Sterling Shepard sprained an ankle. What's his name? Dwayne Harris broke a foot. So like I said before, Roger Lewis is the only healthy receiver on the roster right now. So the Giants are going to have to go to their practice squad to get a couple guys. And the Jets, I mean, who would have thought that after week 5, right now, a case could be made that the Jets, despite their receiver core being awful, the Jets right now have a better healthy receiving core than the Giants do, which is incredible. And I don't mean that in a good way.
No, it's very different. I mean, I think you're right about the Jet fan. They were sort of going to take the season as it is. I was talking to a couple of Jet fan friends of mine this past weekend, and they were expecting. They're doing the wrong thing, but at the same time, they're happy that they've won because being a Jet fan, we all know this is sometimes tough business because your heart gets broken more than it's necessary, and all of a sudden now they're in first place. Now, mind you, it's 5 games into the season, and God knows they can screw up the rest of the season.
Hey, 5 games into the season is almost a third of the season.
I know. So, but that's a pretty good thing, though. I mean, they're playing not great, but not as crappy as everyone thought they were going to play.
Well, they're certainly not as bad as everybody thought they were going to be.
There's a constant thing there, I guess, the best way to describe it.
But here's the problem. They've gotten 3 wins against bad teams. All right? And that's the first of all.
That's true.
We all know they were built to lose. That much is indisputable. So don't even try to say, well, they're young, they're scrappy, whatever. They unloaded every decent player they had.
They did.
Okay? They purposely signed a bad quarterback in Josh McCown because they figure, all right, he is at least serviceable, and after the season, nobody will say, oh, we have to keep Josh McCown because look what he did. Look at all he did for our team. And all of a sudden now, Josh McCown is almost turning into Ryan Fitzpatrick of 2 years ago. The good Ryan Fitzpatrick, not the crappy one that we had last year. So, Josh, let's put it this way. Josh McCown played for the Cleveland Browns, all right, was on their roster. Yesterday was the first time that Josh McCown ever won in Cleveland. All right? So that tells you how bad Josh McCown played for the Browns. He wasn't the backup.
No.
He actually played for them. So that's how bad Josh McCown was for the Browns and has been in his career. He's barely an NFL quarterback. All right? But and that the people who say, well, why isn't Colin Kaepernick on a roster? Colin Kaepernick is better than Josh McCown.
I was about to bring that up.
Colin Kaepernick is unquestionably better than Josh McCown. But
okay.
Josh McCown was signed for the purpose of losing games.
Well,
it was like, all right, here's a guy with experience. Maybe he can teach our backups something about the position over the course of the season. He's a veteran guy, and let's just see how it goes. Well, now the Jets are 3-2, and it's such a Jets thing that winning could be considered a negative because the goal this season was to lose games and get a draft pick. So, all right, let's focus on that's the goal.
Right.
Like most years, the goal is getting to the playoffs or getting to the Super Bowl, and the Jets always screw that up.
Well,
but now this year, the goal was let's lose as many games as possible, and let's get a great draft pick, and let's get that quarterback that we've been needing for 30 years, and they're screwing it up again.
I agree. I was listening to another sports show before arriving here this morning.
Unbelievable.
I know it was Boomer.
I feel betrayed.
He's not. Well, you weren't on, so I mean, and I'm not on. So, but it was Boomer Carton. At least not Carton's not there anymore.
Not Carton.
He's waiting to go to jail.
Boomer and Boomer.
Anyway, Boomer brought up a good point about Colin Kaepernick, and I think he's got a very good point actually. Why hasn't Colin Kaepernick sat down with James Brown, and I'm talking about James Brown, the football announcer, not James Brown,
the Godfather of Soul,
Jim Brown. Yeah, well, Jim Brown also. Why hasn't he come out and done an interview where he said a lot of people are quoting him that he didn't say, or think he said. So at this point,
I don't have an answer for you.
I know that, but he brought up a good point. Why wouldn't you sit down with JB, as he's called,
JB,
and
I think
clear
you should
out?
sit down with the CBS crew myself, but that's my own personal. bias.
Well, I'm just saying, or whoever,
yeah,
whoever, and it's a very good point because at this point, you don't have a job, and you should have a job at least as a backup or something. God. If Ryan Fitzpatrick's playing backup somewhere, then why not Colin Kaepernick? So, but it would also straighten out some of the stuff that even I have about him, just to find out where it's all coming from. And because a lot of people don't know. Now, you brought it up a couple of weeks ago when we talked about it, but a lot of people didn't know that. And
good, of course.
So I'm at this point, why wouldn't you, if you're Colin Kaepernick, say, you know what, it's time to clear the deck and talk?
Colin Kaepernick doesn't. This is the ironic part of all of this. Colin Kaepernick is not an attention seeker. He doesn't like the attention.
It's not about attention anymore, Tim. It's about clearing any misconceptions that they have about him. He could be the quiet guy, and you know.
I agree with what you're saying.
We know quiet people, but you know what? When you become bigger than the movement, you have to sit down sometimes and clear the air because people start saying things about you
I agree with you, but that was never his intention.
I know.
He doesn't like the attention, and I respect the fact that he doesn't want to do it, but I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. I think that at the very least, if you do an interview with like NFL Today, for example,
that'd be where I go.
And just, all right, fine, do a 5-minute, 10-minute interview, whatever it is. They can ask you all the questions they want, and then it's done. And then it's like everybody who's writing about the subject can say, well, Kaepernick said on NFL Today.
Right.
And then you have it's defined. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. And Kaepernick will be able to tell people, look, I'm not against the military. I'm not against the flag. I'm not against the United States. I like the police. I just don't like bad police.
Right, and I think that's something he should do. I think within the next 2 weeks to just end part of this whole thing where, you know, well, he's not American. I'm not watching football anymore. The most American thing in our country is football, and you're not going to watch it.
Well, but here's the reason. I think what he's looking to do is to not get involved and not get caught up in all of that again, because he's trying to get a job. And if he keeps a low profile, then it's not like he's the leader of the movement.
Right.
He's just a quarterback.
But at the same time, brother, it's moved. I actually think that the NFL owners don't want to deal with him because they don't know what he says or thinks, and an interview would clear that out.
His coach from last year has said he was never a problem.
Oh,
he's not an issue. His teammates voted him as the team MVP and you know, like most popular guy, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, he's gotten all kinds of praise from everybody involved with the 49ers.
Right.
So that shouldn't even be an issue.
I'm not saying it is. I think
he just did.
Well, no. Okay. Then I still say that he should do it, just to clean it out, just to say, you know what, I'm not a bad guy, and I'm not an American person.
Well, I think that people
it's part of it's the NFL he has to reconvince, but part of it's the idiots who don't know anything except what they're told.
Here's the problem: those idiots aren't going to listen to him.
Well,
right?
At least you can say, as you like to say, I have facts, and facts are on my side.
But the other part of that is, well, first of all, like I said, no, the idiots aren't going to listen. He could say that and could come on the air, but the people who are informed and actually have read up on the subject already know this. Kaepernick has donated millions of dollars.
I know that.
He's a genuinely generous person.
Most people don't know that, though.
Because they don't look. They only read their idiot stories on Fox News and the lies on Breitbart
and on Facebook, Tim.
And Facebook too. But Facebook is parroting all of that. That's where people on Facebook get that stuff.
A lot of people just talk on Facebook. They're a bunch of idiots. Brother, we have to get out of here. We had another good show. What was the soccer thing? Trinidad, Tobago versus U.S. national team?
U.S. national team against Trinidad and Tobago. That's tomorrow night, I think it is. Wasn't that what you said?
Yeah, tomorrow.
And the U.S. actually defeated Panama the other day 4-0 and clinched a spot in the upcoming World Cup to be played in Russia in next year.
I'm sure.
So it was a little sketchy there for a few minutes, and I still got to see it. We got to try to get Bruce Arena on the show.
Well, start making phone calls.
Bruce Arena, Nassau Community College alumni. Bruce Arena.
Let's make some phone calls.
I'm going to work on that.
Anyway, thank you for listening. My name is Rob Leonard. He is Tim Leonard. Tim, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
This show will be up on Spreaker later in the day, and go to our Facebook page from the press box and leave a comment if you want. Coming up next is Big Ed Newlands, not Little Ed Newlands. That's someone else. Big Ed Newlands, playing the big hits as only Big Ed can do. I'll see you Friday with Beatles songs. I'll see you Sunday with the free-for-all. I'll see you next Monday with Tim. 167 hours talking more sports. Take care. Bye-bye.
The opinions expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College.
Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu